The boy's father once gave him a Godzilla as a pet. Its eyes alone spanned 30 meters wide. Yet at school, he was bullied mercilessly, even humiliated as classmates stripped him in public. The world had entered the era of spiritual revival, where every creature evolved without limit. Colossal beasts, each towering over 100 meters, began to assault humanity. In the cities, only awakened humans could stand against them. Among them, the strongest was Lin Yuan, wielder of thunder. He was revered by all, honored as Lord Dragon Lin. His son, Lin Xiao, was hailed as the hero's heir. But when Zhulong attacked Tianhai City, Lord Dragon Lin vanished and was branded a traitor. From then on, his wife and child were despised, and Lin Xiao was mocked as the traitor's son. Today was Lin Xiao's awakening day. He believed his father's bloodline would grant him a mighty power. Yet one by one, his classmates awakened their gifts, and he awakened nothing. Amid the chorus of ridicule, he walked back to class in silence. But the moment he entered, his desk had already been flipped. Words of mockery were scrawled all over his chair and table. Just as Lin Xiao was about to swallow the humiliation again, he noticed his father's hero medal had been taken out. And now, it hung proudly on Chunhu's chest. Instinctively, Lin Xiao rushed forward to snatch it back. But as an awakened one, Chunhu never took him seriously. With a casual flick, he slammed Lin Xiao hard against the blackboard. Struggling to his feet, Lin Xiao braced himself against the insults carved across the board. He spat coldly. "Chunhu, your father and mine were comrades once. Do you really have to kick me when I'm down?" Chunhu yanked his hair, sneering, "Don't you dare compare my father to your traitor old man." Then his eyes caught the necklace around Lin Xiao's neck. With a cruel smirk, he said, "I remember. That was another keepsake from your coward of a father." With a yank, Chunhu tore the necklace straight off his neck. Lin Xiao threw himself at him, desperate to take it back. But as an ordinary human, he was powerless against Chunhu, who had awakened the strength of giants. He had no room to resist. That necklace mattered because it was the last keepsake his father, Lord Dragon Lin, had left him. Deep down, Lin Xiao never believed his father was a deserter. Chunhu clenched his fist, ready to crush it with brute force. Enraged, Lin Xiao lunged forward recklessly. He sank his teeth into Chunhu's finger, forcing him to loosen his grip. Seizing the chance, Lin Xiao snatched the necklace back. But Chunhu instantly grabbed him again, trying to rip it away. In desperation, Lin Xiao swallowed the necklace whole. Furious, Chunhu hurled him against the blackboard once more. Lin Xiao staggered to his feet, growling, "How disgusting you all are. Back then, because I was the son of Lord Supreme Lin, you groveled at my feet. And now, because I'm his son, you spit on me, humiliate me. Yes, you're right. I'm a useless waste without powers. But even as trash, I won't give up. One day, I'll prove to you all, my father was no traitor and never the coward you call him." Just then, a sharp crack rang out. The necklace he swallowed shattered inside him. A strange surge rippled through his body. Then a voice echoed in his mind. "Welcome to Monster Dominator. System has detected host blood, beginning genetic binding." Ironically, Chunhu's attempt to break the necklace had triggered the amber his father left behind. With the monster system bound, Lin Xiao gained the right to choose a life-bound beast. As he pressed confirm, four options appear before him. First, King of Beasts, Kuei Dragon. Eyes like suns and moons, roar like thunder, breath that pierced all. An unrivaled panga beast. Second, Tyrant Jin Tian. Wings blazing like the sun, once fought Kuei Dragon 200 million years ago, now dormant in the western Ghost Mountains. Third, Queen Jiaoworm. Guardian of all living things, master of formidable support powers, hidden deep within the Screen Wind Mountains. Fourth, Heartbreaker Savage Ape. Arms like mountains, wielding near-apocalyptic strength, able to shatter stars, dwelling on Jian Island. Lin Xiao's heart pounded, damn. The Zhulong that ravaged Tianhai was also a panga beast. If I get one of these, I'll be unstoppable. This system is insane. But staring at the panel, he froze, unable to decide. Then the system warned coldly. If the host fails to choose within 1 minute, it will be considered a forfeit. After a brief struggle, he chose the Beast of Thunder, Koei Dragon. The moment he confirmed, his consciousness was pulled into a strange new realm. Deep within the ocean, a colossal eye slowly opened. A crushing sense of oppression overwhelmed him. Suddenly, a massive water pillar surged upward, wrapping him tight, then hurled him into the sky. In the next instant, the colossal Koei dragon rose from the depths and caught Lin Xiao in its massive claw. He stood frozen, awed by the sheer size of the ancient beast. But soon, the Koei dragon's body began to fade. Moments later, his consciousness was pulled back. In his storage space, a mysterious egg appeared. Just as Lin Xiao examined it, his awareness snapped back to reality. He muttered, "Damn system. How the hell am I supposed to hatch this thing?" Chun-Hu and his gang thought he was cursing at them and immediately surrounded him. Two lackeys rushed forward, pinning him down. Chun-Hu stepped in himself, trying to strip his pants. Suddenly, a sharp voice cut through the air. A girl with a red armband strode in. "In the name of the student council, release him. What you're doing is against school rules." Chun-Hu sneered, unfazed. "Student council? Don't make me laugh. Get the hell out of my sight." He snatched the pencil from her hand, snarling, "I'm giving you a chance to walk out. Refuse, and you won't leave this classroom alive." At once, the pencil twisted in his grip, its tip pointing at his own throat. The girl's gaze hardened. "Final warning. Don't interfere with student council authority." Chun-Hu scoffed, snapping the pencil in half. "My ability is level 1 giant strength. Tricks like yours won't cut it. So do yourself a favor. Don't risk your life for a useless trash." Her eyes turned razor sharp. Newly awakened and already arrogant, time for a lesson. Lin Xiao tried to plead with her to leave. But before he could finish, a fist sent him sprawling to the floor. The girl snapped her fingers. A broom shot forward, hooked into his shirt, and slammed him against the wall, hanging him like a rag. "Sorry, classmate," she said calmly. "Stay up there for now. It's safer." Then she spread her palm. "As for you lot, it's lesson time." Instantly, every object in the room floated into the air. Forks, pencils, and rulers all leveled themselves at Chun-Hu. "Don't move," she warned. "One twitch and you'll be shredded." Lin Xiao stared in shock. Who is this girl? She crushed Chun-Hu in seconds. A student hiding under a desk suddenly exclaimed, "She's the prodigy who awakened A-grade magnetism at just 14. Su Lingyu." Chun-Hu's face went pale. He never expected bullying Lin Xiao would provoke her. She was already in the spirit aperture realm, a whole stage above him. Chun-Hu told himself his father's influence would keep her at bay. But in the next second, a ruler sliced across his throat. Su Lingyu's voice was ice cold. "Don't think General Chen's name makes you untouchable. Deaths in ability duels are common." Chun-Hu broke instantly, shouting, "I surrender. I admit defeat." With a flick of her hand, Su Lingyu dispersed her power, sparing him. She raised her palm again, and Chun-Hu's badge flew off his chest into her hand. Her face hardened. "Report to the discipline office tomorrow morning. Then get out of my sight." Terrified, Chun-Hu and his lackeys bolted for the door, though he shot Lin Xiao a venomous glare on his way out. Watching Su Lingyu end the fight in under 3 minutes, Lin Xiao felt no joy, P, because he had seen firsthand just how terrifying Chun-Hu's strength really was. P. But Su Lingyu had just crushed Chun-Hu in seconds. Lin Xiao knew the gap between them was like heaven and earth. She returned his badge before turning to leave. At the door, she glanced back. "This afternoon, the school will send you home. Without powers, stay away from awakened ones. The gap in strength is a chasm you cannot cross." Lin Xiao knew she was right. He couldn't catch up to them now. But if he couldn't awaken, then he would rely on his father's pendant, the system, and become a monster dominator strong enough to face them head on. Back home, he scoured every record he could find, yet found no way to hatch the monster egg. Just as frustration peaked, the system issued a quest. Hatch your life-bound beast. Reward, skill, tame. But monster eggs were no easy matter. Their natural incubation period lasted 5 to 6 million years. Humanity itself had only taken 5 million years to evolve from apes. Luckily, the system offered a shortcut. It required a monster core. With Earth's scarce spiritual energy, only cores could accelerate incubation. Lin Xiu groaned. As a powerless human, getting one was a pipe dream. Then the system announced, "Monster core energy detected within this room." His eyes lit up. No way did Mom stash some secret treasure. But to his shock, the source was his father's hero metal. Ever since his father's disappearance, Lin Xiu had grown up under scorn. That metal was his only spiritual support. Yet after today's humiliation, he realized, without strength, he couldn't even protect it, let alone clear his father's name. He gritted his teeth, holding the metal. "All right, what do I need to do?" A beam of light traced symbols across his wall, forming a strange pattern. The system commanded him to insert the metal. Doubtful, he pressed in. The metal melted, seeping into the wall. Cracking sounds echoed. Then, with a deafening boom, the wall exploded. Lin Xiu froze, stunned. From a shattered hole crawled out a red baby Godzilla. His jaw dropped. This is what a panga beast looks like when it first hatches. The system chimed, juvenile Kuei dragon. Bloodline, overlord. Height, 0.69 meters. Weight, 380 kilograms. Attacks, charge, bite, dragon tail whip. Initial skill, devour. Congratulations, host. Quest complete. Reward granted, skill, tame. Touch any monster weaker than you, and it becomes yours. In the next instant, the baby Godzilla bit into his pants leg, tugging him backward. Then it ran in circles around him, full of energy. Only then did he realize it was asking permission to eat the eggshell. Lin Xiu suddenly recalled, reptiles often eat their eggshells for calcium. Could this little guy be the same? With his permission, the baby Godzilla happily crunched away. But soon its face twisted in discomfort. Lin Xiu thought it was choking, until the system alerts rang out. Kuei dragon devoured eggshell. Evolution points +5, +8, +10, +15. Just as Lin Xiu thought the system had glitched, the hatchling burst into golden light. Congratulations, host. Kuei dragon has consumed 200 points and completed a growth stage. Turns out, Kuei dragon's innate skill was devour, eat, and it evolves. Those points were immediately spent, its height surging from 0.69 meters to 1.28 meters. At that moment, the bedroom door creaked open. His mother walked in. The hatchling snarled, baring fangs like it was ready to eat her. She fainted on the spot. Lin Xiu tried to recall the beast, but the system's level was too low. Helpless, he could only think of hiding it and explaining later. But the little dragon glared at the window like it was a prison cell. With one tug, it ripped out the frame, walls and all. The crash drew the neighbors. Knowing exposure would be fatal, Lin Xiu leapt from the 4th floor with the dragon. Moments later, his mother's furious screams echoed from above. Hiding in a corner, cold sweat dripped down his back. No wonder she's my mom, woke up that fast. Then the system startled him with a new alert. Reward, monster radar, for successfully hatching Kuei dragon. The item could detect spiritual signatures nearby. Lin Xiu scoffed. What use is this? But the compass instantly lit up. The brightest signal was the dragon itself, the smaller ones the eggshell fragments. But nearby, a larger beacon pulsed. His thoughts raced. The dragon evolved just from eating eggshells. If it devoured that light, wouldn't it skyrocket? He babbled the idea to the hatchling. At the mention of food, the dragon perked up, drooling like a foodie. The two quickly reached an agreement, disguising themselves. Then they bolted toward the beacon at full speed. The trail led them to a luxury apartment. Guards patrolled outside. Lin Xiu hesitated at the gate. The dragon suddenly crouched, then leapt straight onto the building. It scaled 40 floors in one bound. At the top, Lin Xiu froze. It was a girl's bedroom. His mind screamed, "Great, tomorrow's headline. Trader's son, failed awakening, breaks into girl's room." Just as he considered retreat, the dragon barged inside. Catching the spiritual scent, it dashed deeper in. Lin Xiu lunged to stop it, only to slip and faceplant. Looking up, he saw a council badge gleaming. On Blue Star, most spiritual energy gathered in secret realms, birthing treasures and monsters. These badges were keys. Only vetted awakened could hold them, each design unique. The sight felt familiar. His eyes widened. Wait, that's student council president Su Lingyu's badge. Just then, water splashed from the bathroom. Lin Xiu turned and froze, nosebleed bursting out. He cursed at the system. Seriously? Of all places, you drag me here? Forget monsters. This woman would slice me into sashimi. The dragon drooled, about to charge into the bathroom. Lin Xiu checked the radar and went pale. Shit, the spiritual beacon. It's Su Lingyu herself. At that moment, Su Lingyu sensed the disturbance, shouting sharply, "Who's there? Who's outside?" The bathroom door swung open, and Su Lingyu stepped out wrapped in a towel, only to find no one there. The moment Lin Xiu realized it was her, he signaled the hatchling to run. The Kuei dragon snatched him up and leapt from the 40th floor in a single bound. Thankfully, the dragon cushioned his fall. Otherwise, he'd have been a smear on the pavement. Just then, the system chimed. Congratulations, host. Energy source located. Quest 2 unlocked. Objective: advance Kuei dragon into its growth stage. Reward: skill, projection. This ability lets the host merge with any monster in the beast space, gaining 30% of its attributes temporarily. Lin Xiu's heart raced. The dragon was already on par with Su Lingyu. With 30% of its power, he could easily reach the blood condensation realm. And this beast had only eaten eggshells. As it devoured more, he could grow stronger just by standing still. He grinned, pulling out the badge. The pass to secret realms. With that much spiritual energy, it's jackpot time. Together, he and the dragon headed to the nearest secret realm. Once a construction site, the area now lay abandoned, twisted by the realm's influence. Beneath a collapsed building, they found a shimmering portal. Stepping through, the world around them shifted. A vast primeval forest spread before their eyes. For a low-tier realm, it was still breathtakingly massive. Giant dragonflies buzzed, wingspan like blades. 3-meter-long centipedes slithered across roots. The hatchling roared with excitement, charging after them, then promptly tripped over a rock and face-planted. Lin Xiu groaned. This is a secret realm. Can you not embarrass me? But the Kuei dragon rose defiantly. It inhaled deeply, then let out a thunderous roar that shook the skies. I'm here. Line up to become my evolution points. The sound nearly ruptured Lin Xiu's eardrums. As he stepped forward to scold it, the beast pointed behind him. A massive gray bear drooled hungrily, eyes locked on them. With a roar, it charged. Lin Xiu darted under its arm, using his small frame to slip past. Boom! A tree several meters wide snapped in half under its paw. It was a prehistoric short-faced bear, dragged into this realm during the world's mutation. The system chimed, not classified as a monster. Large, but insignificant before true beasts. Checking the panel, Lin Xiu scoffed. Its spirit value was pathetic, worth less than a shard of his dragon's eggshell. A weakling. Perfect for practice. Kuei dragon, take it. But when he turned, the hatchling was gone. You've got to be kidding me. System, where's my dragon? The radar shows it right here. The bear bellowed, lunging at him again. At the last second, whoosh. The Kuei dragon burst from nowhere, ramming it hard and shaving off a quarter of its HP. Its tail whipped out, slashing half its health away. One final strike, a monster-style falcon punch, and the beast collapsed. Lin Xiu collapsed too, sighing with relief. If not for him, I'd be bare food right now. The dragon hopped down from the carcass. Wagging its tail, it dug in. With every bite, the system chimed. Evolution points +1, +2. Lin Xiu groaned. System, are you kidding me? These evolution points are pathetic. Before long, the hatchling devoured the entire bear, but only netted 19 points. He spent them anyway. Kuei dragon grew a measly 3 centimeters taller. Lin Xiu sighed. So even in secret realms, energy isn't everywhere. He pulled up the radar to search for stronger readings. Soon, a massive beacon lit up on the compass. "Quit gnawing bones, Kuei Dragon," he called. "Come on, let's get some real meat." Following the signal, they sprinted ahead. Suddenly, several smaller dots converged rapidly on their position. From the trees, shadows emerged, closing fast. "System, what are those?" Lin Xiu demanded. "Alert! Level 1 mutant dogs. Short forelegs, long hind legs. Dog-like in form, cat-like in motion. Pack hunters. Exceptional bite force." Hearing level 1, Lin Xiu relaxed slightly. They were among the weakest creatures in the realm. With Kuei Dragon beside him, he even waved mockingly, as if greeting them. But the moment they lunged at his dragon, the beast snapped up one in its jaws and swallowed it whole. "Alert! Kuei Dragon has devoured a mutant dog. Evolution points plus 500. First time bonus, plus 1,000 evolution points." Lin Xiu's eyes lit up. One dog equals more than 20 short-faced bears. These mutts are evolution point jackpots. "Go, Kuei Dragon. Eat till you drop, straight into growth stage." The hatchling roared and charged into the pack. It feasted wildly, evolution points skyrocketing, 2,505 points in moments. Lin Xiu nearly jumped for joy. "I'm rich." He dumped them all into growth, boosting its size. Quest 2 progress hit 50%. If it devours the rest, I'll unlock projection for sure. This is how you farm a secret realm. But then, a larger white dog emerged, howling skyward. The once timid pack suddenly turned fierce, eyes gleaming. Lin Xiu's chest tightened. Something was wrong. One hound sprang high. Jaws wide, it lunged straight for him. Kuei Dragon spun to shield him, and took the bite instead. Another hound clamped onto its flank. The white alpha had given the order. Target Lin Xiu, force the dragon to take the hits. Battered and bleeding, Kuei Dragon fought on to protect him. Lin Xiu's face paled. "This can't go on. If they swarm us, we're finished." At this moment, the mission progress had already reached 70%. Clearly, these mutant dogs had no intention of giving them any chance at survival. Thus, Lin Xiu immediately ordered the Kuei Dragon to carry him beneath the massive tree. If the beast continued shielding him, it would eventually be worn down and killed by the endless attacks of the mutant dogs. Yet without the burden of protecting him, the Kuei Dragon could unleash its full strength, and with that power, it could absolutely crush this pack of hounds. Therefore, Lin Xiu decided to climb up the tree himself, hoping to draw the mutant dog's attention away. During this time, the Kuei Dragon could seize the opportunity to devour and rapidly evolve. With a confident grin, Lin Xiu shouted at the beast, urging it to charge into the pack of mutant dogs. The Kuei Dragon once again went on a savage rampage, while several dogs lingered beneath the tree, staring up at Lin Xiu with predatory eyes. Suddenly, all the mutant dogs wearing bells around their necks rammed the tree at once. In an instant, Lin Xiu was shaken loose and thrown from the tree. At that very moment, the Kuei Dragon finally gathered enough evolution points, advancing into its growth stage. Lin Xiu simultaneously completed Mission 2 and unlocked his new ability. As the mutant dog lunged with jaws wide open, Lin Xiu managed to activate the attribute boost on himself. With a single punch, he shattered the beast into pieces. He stared at his mutated hand in shock, whispering to himself, "So this is the power of a monster." Immediately, the remaining mutant dogs rushed at him. But with the Kuei Dragon's power flowing through his body, Lin Xiu stood tall and fearless. "Time to show you. I'm no soft target for you to toy with." He casually dug his fingers into the earth, and with a mighty heave, ripped an entire tree out by its roots. Then, he hurled the massive trunk straight into the charging dogs. Yet to his astonishment, the agile beasts leapt high into the air, dodging the deadly strike with ease. Lin Xiu's eyes widened in disbelief. "Damn, they're that nimble? Looks like I'll have to fight head-on." But before he could engage them himself, the Kuei Dragon suddenly appeared behind the pack, jaws snapping as it devoured 3 mutant dogs in a single bite. System alerts echoed nonstop, the evolution points climbing rapidly. The Koei dragon had now fully entered its growth stage, its height soaring to 4 meters, its body mass increasing to 3.5 tons. The beast walked toward Lin Xiao, its expression filled with fury. Lin Xiao blinked in confusion, not understanding why, until the dragon suddenly grabbed his shoulder, tossing him onto its own back, and spoke in a deep voice. "Why did you leave on your own?" Shocked by the unexpected words, Lin Xiao spun around frantically, searching for the source. Who said that? The Koei dragon turned its head slowly and repeated, "Leaving me is dangerous." Lin Xiao's jaw nearly dropped to the floor. No way. The monster, it can talk. At that moment, the system window appeared on its own. What's so surprising about a Koei dragon speaking? These panga beasts once ruled Blue Star for over 100 billion years. In the endless river of time, they long ago evolved supreme intelligence. To master human language is trivial for them. At this moment, the Koei dragon was still sulking over Lin Xiao's reckless move. With a haughty tone, it declared, "The only safe place for you is by my side." But Lin Xiao argued back, "If I hadn't done that, we both might have been in danger. By now, we'd probably have been torn to shreds by those mutant dogs." Then, in the very next second, realization hit him. The dragon had only been worried for his safety. Lin Xiao chuckled, patting the beast on the head. All right. Either way, our teamwork wasn't half bad. What we need to do now is hurry through the night and return this badge to Su Lingyu." But when he reached for the badge, he suddenly realized it was gone. Most likely, it had been lost during the earlier battle. He and the Koei dragon searched the entire area, but no trace of the badge could be found. At that moment, the dragon lifted a claw and pointed, indicating the scent of dogs in that direction. Lin Xiao sniffed the air himself, surprised to find his sense of smell had sharpened too. The monster's projection ability had enhanced even his senses. Following the trail, they moved forward. Sure enough, under a slab of stone, they discovered the missing badge. It had been dragged away into a den by several small mutant dogs. System alert. These are mutated small hounds. While their combat power is weak individually, when in groups they recklessly attack their prey. True to form, the little beasts ignore the massive size gap and lunged at the Koei dragon, biting ferociously. The dragon kicked them away with a single stomp, about to make a quick dessert out of them. But Lin Xiao stopped it with a shout. "Hold on, dragon. Leave me a live one. I want to test my new taming skill." The ability could only tame monsters weaker than the Koei dragon. Yet before he could even activate it, 3 of the little hounds pounced on him. Thankfully, his projection skill hadn't worn off yet, so he took no damage. He touched one of the dogs on the jaw with his fingertip. System alert. Congratulations. Host has successfully tamed mutant dog. The once feral pup instantly became docile and obedient. It dashed forward, barking furiously at the other 2. Toward Lin Xiao, however, it showed nothing but slavish loyalty, like a true lapdog. Before long, Lin Xiao had tamed all 3 of the little beasts. Just then, the system chimed again. Host may own up to 5 monsters. Current count, 4. Lin Xiao nearly exploded. What the hell? Only 5 slots total, and I wasted 3 of them on useless mutts. At that moment, the system added, Host has obtained a monster core. Complete mission 3 to upgrade the system and unlock more monster slots. Lin Xiao knew well that upgrading the system wouldn't happen overnight. So, he decided to first return Su Lingyu's badge. But as he picked it up, he suddenly noticed something tucked inside, a photograph of his father. Lin Xiao froze in shock. Could it be? I've stumbled onto the truth behind my father's disappearance. Just then his phone rang. Seeing an unfamiliar number, he hesitated, then answered. The next second, Su Lingyu's thunderous voice roared through the speaker. Lin Xiao, did you sneak into my house tonight and steal my Grand Council badge? Hearing this, Lin Xiao played dumb, claiming he had no idea what she was talking about. Su Lingyu snapped, still acting tough. You're in Secret Realm 86, aren't you? 10 minutes ago, the management center notified me. A 2-ton class monster appeared there. The phrase 2-ton class shocked him because Realm 86 is a training ground for the blood condensation stage, where monsters should be under 1 ton. Anything 2 tons typically requires power at the spirit aperture realm to handle. That it hit him 10 minutes ago was exactly when the Kuei dragon evolved. Could the monster be his own beast? Damn it. He'd focused on devouring and forgotten how strict the realm's monitoring was. Forcing himself to sound calm, he said, "Yes, it does sound urgent, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with me, right?" Su Lingyu let out a cold laugh. "Oh, really? Then what comes next may involve you. Do you know the Countermeasures Bureau that oversees Secret Realm security? If I'm right, their commando unit has already arrived and is conducting a grid search of Realm 86. The name alone made Lin Xiu go numb. That's the department that specializes in exterminating monsters. Damn, this is bad. His reaction confirmed her suspicion. If you can get out safely with your partner, contact me once you're out. And remember, the debt for stealing my badge isn't settled." Lin Xiu had originally planned to find Su Lingyu and ask why she had a photo of his father. But for now, the top priority was escaping the realm. He opened the radar and saw the Bureau's energy signatures closing in. The Foodie Kuei dragon, however, assumed more snacks were coming to them. Exasperated, Lin Xiu smacked it. "Eat, eat, eat. That's all you know. Help me figure out how to dodge the sweep." Just then, the 3 small mutant dogs barked at him, as if telling him to follow. To his surprise, the Kuei dragon actually understood their language. The pups were saying there was a burrow ahead that could be used to evade the search. He also recalled that the radar hadn't shown those 3 pups earlier. So Lin Xiu decided to check out the burrow. Soon, guided by the small mutant dogs, they found the entrance. It was an enormous tunnel, with thick white vapor billowing upward. Worried there might be danger inside, the Kuei dragon insisted on going first and told Lin Xiu to stay put and not move around. With that, it leapt down with the 3 little ones and slid along the winding passage. Lin Xiu hurriedly asked the system to scan their spiritual energy levels. He discovered the place did reduce the dragon's energy signature by a lot, but not enough to hide it completely. So Lin Xiu jumped down as well. The dragon caught him at once, glaring and demanding to know why he had come down too. Lin Xiu smiled and explained that spiritual energy could still be detected here, so they needed to go deeper. Before long, they reached a broader chamber. Lin Xiu said excitedly, "It's big and deep here, and it can mask energy. Looks like we're lucky." But the Kuei dragon told him he was celebrating too early. There were obvious signs of excavation, and the tunnel was far too wide. No normal animal would dig passages many times wider than itself, which meant a gigantic monster was very likely hiding within. After hearing the explanation, Lin Xiu said weakly, "No way. This is a level 1 secret realm. If something like that were here, it would have been discovered already." The dragon gave him a look like he was an idiot. "Don't forget why you came here in the first place." Just then, the hatchling caught a scent and said, "There's something extraordinary up ahead." With that, it charged forward. Soon they found piles of bones in the tunnel, along with many fresh monster corpses. The Kuei dragon's eyes lit up, fixed on the bodies. But just as it moved in, a massive creature suddenly appeared. It was the very monster that dug this place. An ancient fierce beast, Fengxi, 8 meters long and 5.4 tons in weight. While they stared in shock at the colossus, more monsters dropped from the ceiling. They were the same mutant dogs that had besieged them earlier. Seeing Lin Xiu, the pack assumed he was behind this and prepared to charge him in fury. The Kuei dragon roared, freezing them in place. Lin Xiu called out, Hey, this is not the time for us to tear each other apart." But before he finished speaking, a gaping maw suddenly opened behind the dogs. In one bite, they were all swallowed whole, watching the pack go down like a plate of snacks. Lin Xiu, who had hoped to win them over, could only groan, "Looks like we'll have to tough this one out ourselves." The next instant, Fengxi's gaze locked onto them, and it charged straight at the group. Lin Xiu froze. So this is a 5-ton-plus monster, terrifying. The Kuei dragon stepped forward and blocked Fengshi head-on, but it was obvious the dragon still couldn't match it. Forced back step by step, it struggled to hold the line. In terms of sheer size, the hatchling Kuei dragon wasn't even in the same weight class. Its body kept trembling, clearly struggling to hold on. Then the Kuei dragon suddenly started barking at Lin Xiao like a dog. At first, Lin Xiao had no idea what that meant. But when he saw the small mutant dogs answering back, he realized the dragon was talking to them. In the next second, a pup clamped onto Lin Xiao's sleeve and dragged him backward. The dragon wanted them to take him somewhere safe. At that moment, Fengshi noticed the commotion on Lin Xiao's side. It slammed the Kuei dragon away with a brutal headbutt. Jaws gaping, it charged straight for Lin Xiao. The dragon shouted in panic, "Don't mind him, run into the tunnel." As Lin Xiao dove into the burrow, Fengshi rammed in right after him. Luckily, the entrance was too narrow and wedged the beast in place. But before anyone could breathe, Fengshi heaved and began ramming and digging furiously. Seeing this, the hatchling sprinted back toward it. It bit down hard into the creature's hide. To its surprise, the brute skin was absurdly tough. The Kuei dragon couldn't pierce it at all and was dragged several meters along the ground. Then the dragon burst with strength and flung Fengshi backward. If biting won't work, it thought, then we'll try something else. Yet no matter how the hatchling attacked, Fengshi kept that infuriating, mocking expression. The next instant, its eyes went cold, and it slammed the dragon again. The wall behind them caved in, leaving a deep crater. Lin Xiao noticed that the area the dragon had just struck seemed to restore itself. Even the Kuei dragon's fiercest blows couldn't break the defense. This was a first. Sure, it was a tier below Fengshi, but it shouldn't be this helpless. It was like a video game boss with defense gimmicks. Only weak points take damage. Judging from Fengshi's build, that bulging underbelly had to be the weak spot. As Lin Xiao racked his brain on how to tell the dragon, the system chimed. Midnight had passed. Sign in now. Sign-ins could award evolution points, items, and even skills. Lin Xiao chose yes without hesitation. Ding. Reward. Kuei Dragon exclusive skill, Explosive Breath. Condense internal energy into a devastating beam, the ultimate mouth cannon. Delighted, Lin Xiao snickered. Fengshi, get ready to be roast pork and my dragon's evolution points. But the system dumped a bucket of cold water on him. As a finisher, Explosive Breath required significant charge time. Right now, the hatchling has no time to charge. To pin down Fengshi, you need at least half of the Kuei dragon's power, and those 3 pups obviously can't provide that. Then inspiration struck. He himself could wield 30% of the dragon's power. It might just work. Confirming that projection had come off cooldown, Lin Xiao planned to merge, take on 30% of the Kuei dragon's attributes, and draw Fengshi's aggro. Meanwhile, the dragon would charge up and blast Fengshi's weak point for a lethal strike. After running the entire plan through his head, he quickly explained it to the 3 pups. Staring at their dopey little faces, he had no idea how much they actually understood. So he redrew the operation route in full detail. This time, the 3 pups immediately understood the plan and actually seemed reliable. At that moment, a furious roar erupted behind them. The hatchling Kuei dragon surged forward and clamped its jaws onto Fengshi's nose. Fengshi's defense was terrifying, but with its nostrils plugged, its face flushed bright red. It whipped its head violently and flung the dragon away. The hatchling slammed hard into the wall. Seeing this, Lin Xiao ordered the 3 pups to execute the rescue the dragon plan. The trio bolted, splitting into 3 directions as they closed in on Fengshi. While the beast was distracted by one, another pup leaped up and bit its ear. A third chomped down a heartbeat later. With Fengshi's attention split, the last pup sprinted to the Kuei dragon's side. It relayed the operation plan to the dragon. Meanwhile, the other 2 barked madly right by Fengshi's ears. The noise drove the monster into a rage. It thrashed its massive head, trying to fling the pups off. But the one suffering most was the hatchling dragon pinned beneath it. Seeing the plan going oakish, Lin Xiu hefted a boulder to smash at Fengxi. Unfortunately, the monster noticed. It released the dragon and jerked back. The boulder, meant for Fengxi, crashed straight onto the Kuei dragon's head. A swelling the size of its whole skull bulged up instantly. "Damn, dragon bro, I didn't mean it," Lin Xiu blurted. Fengxi, grinning wickedly, stalked toward him. Panic surged, but he tried to steady himself. "I still have projection. If I chose to explore secret realms, I have to fight monsters regularly." He reminded himself that to survive, he had to stay calm. Yet faced with the towering, savage Fengxi closing in step by step, his mind blanked. He plopped onto the ground. Damn it, was Dad always fighting monsters like this? Just as Fengxi reached him, light flared beneath its feet. The Kuei dragon must have finished charging, and the angle was perfect. Now, Kuei dragon, explosive breath. Fengxi snapped its gaze toward where the dragon should be, only to find nothing there. Thinking Lin Xiu was bluffing, it lunged in to devour him. Suddenly, a blinding radiance burst from beneath its belly. The glow intensified with a rising hum. A heartbeat later, the dragon's explosive breath slammed into Fengxi, blasting its body out of the pit. At the same time, the monster fell downward, right into the sights of the Countermeasures Bureau. "Looks like that's our target." "Move in," they said. "Tee that power, the ultimate mouth cannon," Lin Xiu whispered in awe. He hurried to spin it. Dragon, that rock, totally a feint to make Fengxi drop its guard. That way you could burrow under and land the kill shot. Thanks to my master plan, we took it down. The Kuei dragon stood up with open disdain. "Nice story. Who was it that went weak in the knees at the sight of Fengxi, couldn't even attack, and collapsed on the spot?" Lin Xiu exploded, ready to argue. But before he could fire back, the system chimes began ringing nonstop. Lin Xiu shouted, "Seriously? At a time like this, you're still eating? The Countermeasures Bureau could be right outside. Do you want to live or not?" Before he could finish, his foot slipped and he fell straight into the hole. The Kuei dragon just kept munching, ignoring him completely. Then Lin Xiu spotted a green crystal. Could this be a monster core? As the dragon leaned in, Lin Xiu quickly clenched the core in his hand. He summoned the system and placed the core onto it. Ding! Congratulations, host. Monster Overlord system upgraded to level 2. Mission 3 completed. Reward have been issued. Please check promptly. He'd thought it was just a plain little backpack, but once opened it revealed a space of its own. First was a passage leading to the monster space. Then came an internal area of roughly 30 cubic meters for storing monsters and personal items, and nothing inside could be seen from the outside. With this backpack, he no longer had to worry about the Bureau spotting the Kuei dragon. He put the dragon and the others into the pack, then stepped outside the pit and located Fengxi. To his surprise, there was a large core embedded in Fengxi's belly. Normally, a monster's core grows in the head, but when he climbed up, he found this core's edges looked artificially polished, with clear stitch marks around it. The system explained that due to its unique lifestyle, Fengxi had evolved a special ability. When digging, they secrete a special saliva that masks spiritual energy. In ancient times, people raised Fengxi on purpose, using them as containers to collect aura and boost their own abilities. Unbelievable. Someone's keeping a fierce beast right under the Bureau's nose, Lin Xiu said. The Kuei dragon poked its head out. Foolish monkeys, always crowning yourselves as masters of the world, trampling other lives at will. Lin Xiu hastily shoved it back in. Why are you popping out everywhere? From now on, don't come out without my say-so. Just then, the system flashed an alert. A high-density aura signature was closing in. Lin Xiu figured the Countermeasures Bureau was on the way and moved to leave. But seeing that massive core, it felt like a waste to abandon it. He doubled back, trying to pry the core out. Tires screeched in the distance. The Bureau arrived at Fengxi's location in short order. Lin Xiu hid in the nearby woods, watching from cover. He exhaled. That was way too close. Still worth it for this core. The system notified him. Absorbing this core's aura could boost the system 3 levels in a row. Yet he decided to give the core to Su Lingyu. Without her badge, he never would have entered the realm. And he didn't want to get entangled with this woman either. Suddenly, chaos broke out on the bureau's side. Feng Shi, previously lifeless, sprang back to life. Lin Xiao snapped at the system. Didn't you say explosive breath was unstoppable? And it couldn't finish Feng Shi? The system explained, most of the blast had been absorbed by the core, letting Feng Shi survive. Feng Shi went berserk, attacking the bureau team. Their captain, however, stayed calm. He slowly shrugged off his shirt. Monsters and awakened are both born of aura. It's just a matter of which is stronger. His squad tried to stop him, reminding him it was a 5-ton beast. The captain still strode straight up to Feng Shi. His muscles surged, swelling across his frame. He was an A-rank muscle ability awakened. Come on, let's see if you're worthy to face me. Provoked, Feng Shi roared and lunged, fanged maw snapping for the captain. The captain whipped up his left hand, clamped Feng Shi's lower jaw, and snapped its mouth shut. He even hoisted half of the beast's body. Then his right hand began to charge. A knife hand strike chopped down at Feng Shi. Feng Shi's eyes went lifeless in an instant. That single strike severed its head. He casually tossed the head aside. To the dead Feng Shi, he said, "Hey, don't hold a grudge. Ending a fight by your rules is the respect I can offer. Better than those guys over there putting bullets in you, okay?" He ordered the squad to pull out, load the corpse, and return to base. This boar head alone could feed them for weeks. Watching them leave, Lin Xiao finally relaxed. Good thing they took Feng Shi as the target from the alarm. Then he and the Kuei dragon headed back to Feng Shi's lair. While the dragon gnawed a wolf leg, Lin Xiao packed every last scrap of food. He opened the system panel and dumped all evolution points into the dragon's size. Little Kuei now stood 11.8 meters tall, with Devour and explosive breath. After all that, dawn had to be near. It was time to go home. Before leaving, Lin Xiao raised a small grave for Feng Shi. Annoying, big boar or not, it had saved him 3 times in the realm. Its tunnel let them evade the bureau's sweep. Its core granted him the monster space. And at the end, it drew the bureau's eyes with its life. With that done, Lin Xiao stepped out of the realm and back to reality. Shame. Once I return the badge, who knows if I'll get another shot like this. Hope I can own a badge myself someday. To return it ASAP, he texted Su Lingyu right away. Sneaking a look at her shower while taking the badge was already impossible to explain, and she seemed to suspect the monster, no telling how much she knew. She'd definitely ask why he entered the realm. All I can do is bet on the core. If she's thrilled enough when she sees it, maybe she'll forget to ask. Right then, Su Lingyu texted back. There was an event at the gym. Come find her there. So Lin Xiao hurried over with a monster core. But the place was deserted. Nothing like an event. He pushed the door open, half skeptical. Inside was pitch black and eerily quiet. Just as he was about to leave, another text. She was tied up. He should head straight in. The moment he stepped inside the gym, the main door slammed shut with a bang. Only then did he notice. The dark gym was crammed with high jump stands. Confused, he felt his way back toward the entrance. Footsteps clicked from the upper level. A shadow appeared. Surprised? I set all this up just for you. Su Lingyu's face was stormy. Explain yourself. Peeping in my shower and stealing my badge? Pervert and thief. Lin Xiao started to speak. She flicked her hand. The badge ripped through his pants and flew into her palm. Evidence in hand. Don't dream of another escape like last night. Confess, and it'll go easier. Knowing he couldn't dodge it, Lin Xiao braced himself. He bowed first, admitting he was wrong to take the badge without permission. Then, earnest, he offered the core. I found this in the secret realm last night. I want you to have it, as an apology. But before he finished, a high jump bar whipped through the air and smashed the core. So you're still lying. What I want to know is, how did you get into my room? Keep lying, and next time I'll blow up your head. Lin Xiao froze. He couldn't exactly tell her he had a monster system, right? Say a monster carried him there? Get real. From inside the backpack, the Kuei dragon and the pups yelled, "Let us out. We'll take her down." Lin Xiao muttered, "The hell with that." This is school. If I let you out, you'll bring the whole place down. If only he hadn't used the dragon projection against Feng Shi earlier, he could have held her off now. Su Lingyu was about to make a move. Lin Xiao snapped up the projector and flashed it at her. As she threw up a hand to shield her eyes, he sprinted for the gym doors. Su unleashed her ability. Just as he neared the exit, a high jump bar slammed into the floor, blocking his path. He glanced back. She was bending the second floor railing under her control, turning it into a slide and charging down at him. Lin Xiao side-hopped to dodge. Since you won't say how you got into my room, I'll change the question. Who was your partner, and where are they now? He remembered. On the phone earlier, she'd emphasized partner, too. So she wasn't mad about the badge at all. This whole setup was to force me to hand over little Kuei. But Lin Xiao wouldn't let her win. He pointed the projector at himself. Su Lingyu figured he'd pull the same trick again. As her strike was about to land, he triggered the monster projection on himself. In the next instant, her attack hit nothing. Lin Xiao had turned into a puppy, leaping clean over her head. What the? Su blurted. What kind of sorcery is that? While she gaped, he bounded up to the second floor. He was about to vault out when her attacks came down like rain. He toppled from the second floor ledge. Su unleashed her ability again. Under her control, high jump bars and wall panels snapped into a cage. The moment he hit the ground, the cage dropped over him. He blacked out for a moment. No chance of escape. As Su moved in to interrogate him, she spotted his backpack lying nearby. He kept talking to this bag. Is there something off about it? Is he hiding a monster in there? Inside, the Kuei dragon fumed, demanding to come out and finish her. It even tried to use the system's projection to wake Lin Xiao. He stirred, mumbling, "Mom, stop. I'm getting up." His memory was fuzzy. Once clear, he only recalled falling from the second floor. So the puppy projection not only nerfs my strength stats, it tanks my IQ too. Just then, he noticed Su Lingyu was about to open his backpack. "That's my bag. Give it back now," Lin Xiao shouted. His outburst startled her. Seeing his reaction, she was sure of it. "So your partner is in here, huh?" Realizing he couldn't hide it, Lin Xiao yelled, "This isn't a joke. Hand it back. What's inside is dangerous. I can't hold it down. If it starts a fight, the whole school could get leveled." That only made her more curious. She unzipped the pack. A terrifying blast of air whooshed out. Su blinked, dumbfounded. "What is that? You sure they could wreck the school?" She'd only seen the 3 mutant pups hop out. Lin Xiao sighed. "Fine, fight if you want, just mind the ceiling." Su glanced up. A drooling little Kuei dragon was staring right at her. Her brain blue-screened for a beat. She snapped back and leapt away, widening the gap. "Lin Xiao, what did you bring to school?" "It's called Kuei Dragon," Lin Xiao said helplessly. A Panga-class monster just past the hatchling stage. Hearing that, Su Lingyu wasn't scared at all. She was thrilled. "Kid, you really brought out something incredible." She flared her ability, eager to spar with the Kuei Dragon. Chances to face a Panga-class beast were rare. She vaulted to the second floor and pulled every high jump bar to her. A moment later, a giant hand made of bars loomed over the court. Lin Xiao gawked. "Whoa, girl version Gundam." He warned the dragon. Su Lingyu isn't an enemy or food. No devour, no explosive breath. The dragon nodded. He'd pull his punches. Feeling ignored, Su swung a metal fist straight at the dragon. Little Kuei burped, then whipped out a dragon tail, smacking the iron fist away. Unhurried, it shielded Lin Xiao from the falling pipes. Lin Xiao scanned for Su, thinking she was buried, when her voice echoed from the backboard. "Damn it, Lin Xiao, get me down from here." "No problem," Lin Xiao said. "But first, Chairwoman Su, answer one thing. Why was my dad's photo inside your badge? What's your relationship?" 7 years ago, the Pangu Behemoth Candle Dragon struck Tianhai City. In half a day, it leveled most of the city. Conventional weapons did nothing. In that catastrophe, Su Lingyu's mother was trapped under rubble. Young Su tried everything, useless. As the dragon lunged with jaws wide, she chose to die with her mom. A man intervened. With a single thunder fist, he repelled the beast that guns couldn't scratch. That man was Lin Xiao's father, Lin Longzuan. He saved Sue and her mother. Lin Xiu cut in, triumphant. Told you, Dad didn't run. He even decked the candle dragon. That punch shaped Su Lingyu. She trained Iron Fist for years, hoping to throw one like his. Yet after all that training, when facing even a hatchling Pangu, her fists still shattered like glass. Learning she'd use his dragon as a practice dummy, Lin Xiu bristled. Su, eyes shining, peppered them with questions about the dragon. Where does it live? Your place? Don't tell me you stuff it in that backpack. As Lin Xiu fumbled for an answer, she tried poaching him. Little guy, want to live at my place? We can spar every day. Hearing punching bag, the dragon refused on the spot. Su played her trump card. Forgot to say, my home is inside a secret realm. Tons of space and food as much as you want. The foodie dragon folded instantly, shamelessly angling to move in. Lin Xiu pointed at her. Hey, don't kidnap someone's monster in front of its owner. Su flushed. You can move in too. You're welcome. That line turned Lin Xiu beet red. He quickly changed the subject, asking what happened after, between his dad and the candle dragon. Su Lingyu said she didn't know. After she and her mother were saved, the Bureau rushed them to safety, leaving Lin Longzuan alone against the beast. When the battle ended, Su and her father visited the Bureau to deliver a banner of thanks. But that's when they also heard the ugly rumors. Lin Xiu's face hardened. If many in the Bureau had witnessed the fight, why were there slanders smearing his father? Seeing him like that, Su went on. She didn't believe the rumors either, so she returned to the ruins to pay respects. There, she found Uncle Lin's E-Council badge. Lin Xiu hurriedly asked if she'd found anything else. Just then, the system blared a red alert. He popped open the monster radar. A dot, about the aura size of a mutant pup, blinked nearby. Its position, right behind him. It was an evil eye, a hermaphroditic creature whose male aspect can detach and act alone, exchanging info via aura waves and even turning invisible. The three pups erupted, barking at a corner. They'd pinpointed it. Go! Lin Xiu signaled. The pups lunged. Meanwhile, Su rigged iron cages over the 4 exits. The pups herded the evil eye straight into a cage. With nowhere to hide, it finally revealed its body. Lin Xiu frowned. We mentioned the badge, and this thing shows up. Someone's spying on us. Su stared, stunned at first, then calmly snapped a photo. I've seen these in my dad's books. Never a live one. She posted it to Moments and Adi, her father. He called moments later. She wanted him to trace who sent the monster. Lin Xiu deadpanned. Couldn't you just call first? Then he noticed a monster charm on her phone. Wait, did my dad give you that? He remembered. As a kid, Dad handmade him an identical monster toy, hoping he'd be brave and charge forward. Lin Xiu's eyes firmed. Watch me, Dad. I'm the monster overlord, scarier than any beast. Meanwhile, at a secret research base, a lab-coated man stared at footage of the Kuei dragon. Behind him loomed the Evil Eye Mother. It was the last feed sent back by the male Evil Eye dispatched to the A86 realm. Feng Shi couldn't have been discovered. What the Bureau detected should be this one. If they're dumb enough to misread that, there's only one explanation. The monster grew this much in a single night. He stepped toward the Mother Evil Eye and tore off several male pods in one yank. Evil Eyes go, shadow that beast. I want everything about it. Then Lin Xiu's face popped up on the monitor. He tamed a captured Evil Eye with the system, traced the signal back here, and seized control of the mother. Staring at the duo, Lin Xiu blinked. One looked like a hawk-eyed banshee, the other a mad scientist. What is this? A cosplay convention? Regaining his focus, he demanded to know why they sent eyeball monsters to spy on him. The scientist replied, surveillance was only to propose a deal. He wanted Lin Xiu to bring the Kuei dragon over, so he could collect some genes. His aim? To build a monster park, for which he'd bred and collected tens of thousands of creatures to study. Lin Xiu sneered. Why should I let you take genes? Based on what? The scientist cued a video. Over 4,000 nautical miles from Tianhai lies an island, Jiwen. I think you'll be interested. The video showed Godzilla wiping out an entire expedition over 60 years ago. The scientist had studied the island for 12 years to learn about Godzilla, only to find it vanished 20 years ago. Yet now he'd seen a look-alike. Lin Xiao's eyes widened. Wasn't that the same monster his dad made for him? He asked what intel the scientist could actually provide. Hooked, the man produced a photo of Lin's father. I know you're Lin Longzuin's son, and you're searching for him. And I know a few intriguing things about him. The island's monsters vanished 20 years ago. Your father moved to Tianhai 20 years ago, and you own a monster identical to the island's. Coincidence? All signs point to GUN. I have 2 decades of expedition data. Deal. Lin Xiao fell silent. It didn't feel like coincidence. Something was buried there. Seeing him waver, Su Lingyu cried, "Don't be fooled. I remember who he is. Xuemu, once a biotech/kaiju professor, now wanted by the Bureau for illegal human gene mods and monster breeding." Lin Xiao chuckled. Didn't need the warning. I'm not partnering with this creep. And if I can steal it, why negotiate? He ordered Evil Eyes number 2, 5 to move. The professor's USB stick jerked into the air and shot toward the lab exit. The hawk-eyed banshee flapped after it. "Professor, he's controlling the magnetic Evil Eyes. All 4 males we sent out are under his command." The scientist thumbed a remote. The mother Evil Eye began to balloon like a blimp. Flesh burst. The mother shrieked. The males on Lin Xiao's side started trembling too. The man's awakened power was surgical arts. He could cut and graft organs at will. He'd implanted chips that let him drain aura via the core and control growth. Disobedience? He'd convert core energy into current and punish them. He pressed the remote again. The mother screamed. "Stop!" Lin Xiao shouted. The scientist smiled. "Easy. Release your control of the mother, and I let it go. Also consider my offer. You're almost out of time. If this traitor dies, the aura link cuts. Then you can't answer or command the males here. They'll all die." Staring at the writhing eye, Lin Xiao blamed himself. He didn't even know how to sever the link. The male eyes scattered, chased by the banshee. Lin Xiao made his choice. He rejected the deal outright. "Even if I never find my dad, I won't work with a sick freak like you. You're not human. Forget the Kuei dragon's genes. I'm not giving back my evil eyes either." He was so furious, he nearly dove through the screen to beat the man senseless. Just then, little Kuei stepped up behind Lin Xiao and Su Lingyu. It gently shoved the 2 of them aside. Seeing the dragon fill the monitor, the hawk-eyed banshee jolted. "What the? Is that the GUN island kaiju the professor's obsessed with? I know it's only a projection, but I'm scared anyway." The mad scientist, however, was ecstatic. After 12 years, he'd finally found the super beast. Baring its fangs, the Kuei dragon growled. "So you're the ape who tramples life, daring to treat monsters as toys?" He didn't flinch. He even leaned in to try and touch the dragon. "Foolish ape, I'll show you a monster's wrath." The dragon roared, earth shaking, and the lab heaved like an earthquake. Back at the school, the roof nearly lifted off. "Enough!" Lin Xiao yelled. "Raging through a screen won't help." While the scientist sighed, "Majestic frame, a king's roar, perfect." The creatures in the specimen tanks behind him opened their eyes. They were answering the dragon's call. More and more monsters woke. At the same time, the dragon funneled aura into the male Evil Eye, pushing it through the aura link to flood the lab. Evil Eye number 4, barely holding together, reconnected the broken channel. As aura surged through the facility, glass casings burst. The specimens went feral the instant they drank in the energy. They smashed out and roared at the scientist. The Hawk Woman spotted the rampage first and tried to lift him into the air, but a claw flashed, and she was a beat too late. The monsters cleaved the scientist in 2. Su Lingyu covered Lin Xiao's eyes. He didn't need that level of gore yet. Meanwhile, a rhino beast shattered the lab doors. Evil Eye number 3 seized the moment, flying out with the data disk. Number 4 relaxed, seeing its comrade escape, then severed the aura conduit and closed its eye forever. But as the screen cut to black, Xuemu's voice returned. "Interesting. Did you think you could slip from my grasp so easily?" Torn in half, he still wasn't dead. wearing a look of twisted pleasure. He reached out, calling for his missing half. Instantly, his cells began to divide at speed. Muscles writhed and split, multiplying. Soon, small-tailed creatures butted off his body and scuttled back toward Xuanmu. His torso mutated as skin sacs grew to receive them. As more of the creatures merged into him, the missing half of his body regenerated. The Hawk Woman fretted. They stole the GUN data disk. Should we go after it? Xuanmu waved it off. Let it be. It's bait to keep the boy in sight. Besides, GUN Island isn't someplace humans can reach easily anymore. Meanwhile, back in the school gym, after pouring his aura through the link, the Kuei dragon ran dry. With a crash, the little dragon collapsed. System, what's going on? Lin Xiu asked. No response. Su Lingyu jumped in. Looks like aura asphyxia. Hearing asphyxia, Lin Xiu dropped to give CPR. Su groaned and stopped him. On Blue Star, that is Earth, the ambient aura is thin. After big bursts, if awakened, don't replenish in time. They show suffocation-like symptoms. Monsters have it worse. Their bodies are flesh interlaced with aura. Even basic functions run on energy. That king's roar just now? Hurt the enemy 1,000. Hurt yourself 800. Basically a suicide move. You can't sense aura, so you might trigger something like that without thinking. But he clearly knew and did it anyway. Lin Xiu hadn't expected the dragon to push itself so hard. Thankfully, it didn't look fatal. She produced a vial. Condenses and stabilizes aura. Lin Xiu took it and helped the dragon drink. Watching him, Su wondered, he can't sense aura. He hasn't awakened. So what is his power? The door creaked open. Evil Eye number 2 swooped in with the GUN data disk. Number 1 slipped free of Su and met at midair. Taking the disk, Su beamed. Looks like we won big this round. The Evil Eyes 2, 3, and 4 hugged, sobbing with relief. But Lin Xiu couldn't smile. The rest had been slaughtered by the Hawk Woman. He took the disc from Su and hurled it to the floor. This isn't victory, just a cheap steal with heavy losses. He stomped the disc to pieces. Su stared, stunned. That's GUN intel. Don't you want the truth about your father? Lin Xiu kept his cool. Tonight was luck. Xuanmu isn't dead. He'll be back. People who handle monsters, I can tell. For all we know, this disc is his next trap. Head on, I can't beat him yet. I won't risk my monsters. They've given me their lives. Some even died for the mission. Protecting them is my duty. As for my father's trail, I'll gather it myself later. Seeing Lin Xiu so resolute, Su Lingyu felt he was a different person. Yesterday, he was a bullied kid who only talked big. What on earth happened last night? Maybe he really was someone worth placing a little hope in Deanna. She handed him a poster. It was the DAE Guild membership exam flyer. Think about sitting the guild exam. You'll need it sooner or later. Having a license badge makes Secret Realm access much easier. The tests start next month. Plenty of time to prep. As Lin Xiu hesitated, the Kuei dragon hoisted him up. This kid is taking it next month. I reserve his spot. From the start, you've been timid. Anyone blocks us, I'll swallow them. Lin Xiu was about to protest when steam began pouring from the dragon's body. It sensed something wrong. In seconds, vapor shrouded it. It set Lin Xiu down as the steam thinned. And in the next heartbeat, it had shrunk back to its newborn size. What the? Su Lingyu, was that medicine fake? What did you do to my Kuei? 2 months later, Lin Xiu finished exam I. Today the results would be posted. He asked nervously, Kuei, any call about the score yet? Little Kuei stared at the phone, ignoring him. That morning, the dragon had solemnly borrowed his phone to look up materials online. It's been 2 months. Is he still hung up on GUN Island? Feeling guilty, Lin Xiu leaned over to see what it was researching, only to find it playing Honor of Kings, a mobile MOBA, and playing terribly, 59 deaths in a single match. Come on, that's 26 losses already. So you've been gaming all morning. Before he finished, a red glow flickered at Kuei's lips. A mini blast breath crisped the phone. Lose if you must, but not on my phone. Lin Xiu yelled. The dragon gave a thumbs up, simulated combat to fine-tune blast breath. Hearing that flimsy excuse, Lin Xiu lunged to discipline the rascal. The door kicked open. Mom swept in with a huge tray of grilled skewers, scolding, "Lin Xiao, you little brat. Bullying little Koei again? Mom, could you at least knock? Knock. I'm not here for you." She set down skewers and kidneys in front of the dragon. "Here, little K, forget that rascal. Fresh off the grill." Lin Xiao gaped. "Mom, your own son hasn't eaten a thing all morning. That's blatant favoritism." "Fine, being my kid isn't easy either." She handed him a slice of bread. "Tide yourself over. Didn't you say Kuei's still growing? Hold out till lunch. I'll reheat last night's leftovers." "Why do I get bread while he gets meat? Look at little K, studying every day. You, sleeping in. Studying? He's gaming." He'd worried Mom wouldn't accept the dragon. Turns out he was the add-on freebie. "So, did your results come in yet?" Mom asked. "They said they'd call at 10 a.m., but nothing so far." Lin Xiao sighed. "Mom, let him have it. I emptied our savings to register you. That was your wedding fund. If you fail, enjoy being single." A noise sounded outside the door. Su Lingyu kicked it open, annoyed. "Lin Xiao, results are out. I called you all morning. Why didn't you pick up?" Lin Xiao put it together. Someone had hung up all the calls just to keep gaming. "You answered for me? Told me you'd handle everything? I thought you were reliable. You liar." He swung at the dragon. "Mom," now understanding, snapped, "the two of you are getting bold. Pulling this when we have a guest?" Bang. The wall cracked. Su thought, "Yep, wrong time to visit." Moments later, Mom hauled one in each hand toward the hall. "So tough, huh? I'll fix you both." "Oh, Su Lingyu, I hear you speak at every parent's meeting." Seeing the sorry state of man and dragon, Su wiped cold sweat. Then, Lin Xiao placed first on exam eye. Mom beamed. "That's my boy. So he's basically in the guild, right?" Su's face turned serious. Exam eye is just a written, basic monster and secret realm knowledge. The hard parts are next. Exam 2 is physical fitness, under 10% pass. Exam 3 is live combat. Changes yearly. Wipeouts are common. Mom looked worried. Lin Xiao spoke up. "I'll pass both. I haven't awakened, but I have other tools. This time I'll prepare properly." Su smiled at his resolve. One more thing. May Lin Xiao stay at my place for 1 month of pre-exam training?" Lin Xiao gaped. Mom agreed on the spot. After they left, Mom slumped at the table. "Kids grow up and fly off. I wanted to celebrate. Guess I'm dining solo." A moment later, she'd cleared the feast and felt much better. So that's why he suddenly wants those exams. 2 birds, 1 stone. Meanwhile, Lin Xiao stared at Su's home, stunned. Su's dad was the famous monster doctor, Dr. Su. Hearing monster, the dragon's eyes sparkled, drool dribbled. Su explained the research center was just an entrance to her house. 393. Their actual home was inside a secret realm beneath the parking garage. Her father moved the family in to study monsters full-time. Lin Xiao grimaced. "Is that even about convenience? How can a person own a secret realm?" "Su, realms can be leased. Globally, unclaimed realms are first come, first served. In Huagua, the Da-E Guild handles exploration, so it controls most realms used/ownership. There are too many, so the guild rents out the stable ones. The 86 realm you visited is leased to the Countermeasures Bureau for blood condensation stage training. To lease, you must be a guild member. Pass the exams, and you can contract 1 too." Lin Xiao's heart thumped. "Then I can settle Koei and the others in a realm, and we can actually live together. That's what a monster overlord deserves." Su led them to the monster infirmary. Inside sat a mother evil eye. When it saw Lin Xiao, tears welled. He thought it was the lab's mother revived. But on closer look, it was his own evil eye number 1. Perched on its body were evil eye number 2 and number 3. As he wondered how number 1 had become the mother form, Su Lingyu explained, "I don't know how you tell them apart, but together they're one organism. The male body is basically a hunting organ that can detach from the core. When the core is badly damaged or dies, another male morphs into a new female core. You were grieving for the mother before, but when you swore to protect the monsters, gotta say, you looked pretty cool." Seeing the evil eye restored, Lin Xiao happily unshouldered the space pack to stash it inside. Sue said she had to step out. He should stay put and not wander. Then she left the room. As Lin Xiu slid the eye into the bag, a voice sounded behind him. He turned. A blonde girl stood there. Big brother, are you awakened? And you've got such a cute monster with you. Can I shake hands with it? She reached toward the Kuei dragon. Faced with that bright smile, Lin Xiu couldn't refuse. The dragon carefully controlled its strength and offered its paw, afraid to hurt her. The instant their hands met, a surge of force hit the dragon. Lin Xiu saw little Kuei tremble. What's wrong? The dragon said its hand couldn't pull free. Lin Xiu thought she'd use some power, but the girl said it's Baji Quan, a Chinese martial art that turns your strength back on you. The dragon tried to power out, then dropped to one knee. She added, the harder you push, the more force rebounds on you. Stubborn, the dragon pushed harder. She snorted. With a casual flick, she threw the nearly 2-ton dragon. You asked for it. How's it feel to be tossed by your own strength? Lin Xiu gaped. He actually got tossed that easily? Furious, the dragon charged to teach the brat a lesson. She just chuckled, pulled out a small sphere, and slammed it to the floor. Smoke flooded the infirmary. When it cleared, she was at Lin Xiu's side, a knife at his throat. Awaken love flashy moves to scare people. They forget a kitchen knife can do the job. When someone feels truly threatened, they clutch at a lifeline. Hand yours over. Lin Xiu hadn't expected he was her target. Who are you? She smiled. Relax. If I wanted you dead, you'd have died 4 times since I walked in. Sighing, he handed over the projection flashlight. Sister Sue warned me. You boost your stats with this, right? By the way, I'm the coach she hired for your special training. I'm Fong Tianji. Not the Fongtian halberd weapon, just Fong Tianji. From the hall, Sue shouted, Quit playing cute. You're 7 years older than me, okay?